joining us. This is a special edition of 90 Minutes Africa. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. My co-host, Shido Onoma, is an assignment. Today, we welcome to the show Prophet Isa El-Buba. Most of you know him as the founder of El-Buba Outreach Ministries International, a powerful preacher and prophetic voice from Jos. He speaks boldly on faith, nation building, and Nigeria's future. Please welcome to the show, Prophet El-Buba. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure for me to join you today. Thank you for the honor of having me join your team.
We are so happy to have you. It's not every day that we have a man of God who speaks truth to power join us on the show. So we're glad. So let me start with the state of the nation. I know you are monitoring what has been going on in Nigeria, and you preach on your platform in his presence. You speak every week. I want to know what you make of the political situation today.
The political situation today, let me use the word, is not actually physically what we desire. It is, let me use the word, it's a disaster. It is not something that anybody should align with as of where it is today. But then out of the mess, you will always see that there's also a message that is to be picked from and to be learned from. And so whether you look at the events that are going on from the presidency right down to the ordinary person on the street, you will see that it is a dual thing that is ongoing in terms of the rottenness of morality. So you have it at the apex, which is the elite. You also have it at the bottom, which is the people. And so we're dealing with two sides of political rottenness. I call it immorality. So that's just what it is.
But if you look at the country, people are preparing for 2027, and you do preach about that. You do talk about what has to be done before 2027. Do you think those things are going to happen before 2027? I'm talking about, example, electoral reforms that people believe that if it's not done, that the result will be the same.
Yeah, that's very true. Basically, I have said that presently, the problem of having good governance in Nigeria is not with the presidency; it's actually with the parliament, with the House of Assembly, with the national, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. And we're doing a lot in the background. It's not, I won't be able to say everything on air. But if we're going to see a change Nigeria, if we're going to see a change Nigeria, then we must do something about that place that is called the National Assembly. That is the most corrupt place in Nigeria. The judiciary has its own, the other presidency. But if you really want to have the right people in power, then something must be done about the electoral process in the country. And so what we're doing is, apart from sensitizing the people, we are trying to put some machineries in place that will be able to put the people in the place that they need to be, so that the thing that needs to be done will be done. And between now and the end of the year, we're believing that something will happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's believe that. But there's another thing going on in the country as we speak. The opposition parties, virtually all of them, are saying that the government is simply interested in crushing them, making sure there won't be any opposition that will challenge him, the president's next election. In fact, last week we had kind of some permutations that are suggesting that Peter Obi may not even have a political party from which he will even contest. What do you make of that accusation that the government is trying to crush opposition parties in Nigeria?
Let me just give you a picture. It's just like the devil showing up before you. if you're a child of God. If the devil shows up before you, God is not going to be the one that will rebuke the devil. You will have to act by rebuking the devil because you've been given the authority to do it. And so there are things that God is going to do for you, but what he has given you power to do, he's not going to do it for you. So what I'm trying to say is the president, Tinubu, the presidency, and all the APC and all the political class that want to, let me use the word, place their knee on the neck of all other opposition so that they cannot breathe. They don't have that capacity. I still say they don't have that capacity. The most powerful institution is the institution of the people. Is the most powerful. If these opposition leaders are genuine and they mean what they are saying, then they will be able to put their energy. I tell you, in the next 24 hours, they will be able to ground this country to a halt. They will be able to prove to the president that you cannot just do what you feel like doing. We'll all have to obey the Constitution. So, but when you have people that are fearful, people that are, let me use the word, they say something with one mouth, but they don't do it. They do different thing with the other hand. Basically, you find the government will ride on, the government can do whatever the government wants to do. I give you an example of something that happened some years ago. There was a senator in this place on the plateau. He was a popular senator. He used to be a deputy senate president. He came and he was just talking down on the people. Now, one thing you don't do before me is trying to talk down on people, because these people are God's image and these people must be respected. So he was talking down on the people. He was talking down on the religious organizations and institutions and all. And he felt because he was so much, he had so much money, so much power. At that time, the president was even a little bit, let me use the word, afraid of him because of his political strength. So when I came into town and I heard the thing, I don't go by rumor, I go by evidence. I said, get me the evidence. They brought the evidence, I watched it. I said, okay, let's go to the field. I mobilized the people. I don't have 0.10% of the resources he has in terms of money. But you see, there is a thing that has to do with leadership. Money is not the one that drives it first. It is the capacity to give people the leadership, the direction that this thing can be done. So I led the people. At the end of the day, Senator Mantu was brought down by somebody that is unknown. That was how we got Major Sati to become the senator in that zone. And from that day, Mantu till he died, Mantu never smelled any political office. So what I'm trying to say is there is nothing we cannot do. So if the opposition are serious, whether it is all of the people that are coming out now talking and talking, if they are really serious, first of all, that they are repentant, that they themselves acknowledge the errors of the past. That's the way to go. We made mistake. Tell Nigerians what you did, how you were part of the process of bringing Nigeria to where it is. That's what Nigerians are looking for. The reason why Nigerians, let me use the word, if I ask them to come out, they come out. Because they tested me. By the grace of God, you can't buy me, you can't manipulate me for anything. When it comes to the welfare of the people, I am there. Now, you as political leaders, some of them were vice presidents, some of them were governors, some of them were senators, some of them were ministers. They were part of the thing that contributed to where Nigeria is now. So what you need to do is simple. Sit down and be honest for once. That's what we're saying. For once, be honest. It's not about a person. I tell you today, if Tinubu changes his ways and starts doing what is right, I will support him. Because all I want is Nigeria to work. It's not about an individual coming into power. So if they are really serious, they would tell Nigerians, we apologize. That's first. That's repentance. What we did in the past. Now we are ready to join you, Nigerians. It's not about us. It's not about any one of us seeking to be president. We want to join hands together to make sure that this evil does not go on. And of course, the things are there. with the policy of this government, the actions of this government, what is ongoing. These are glaring things that are there that that citizens are tired of. Citizens are groaning. I just had over 12 hours drive by road. I have been going across the country. I just came back from 9 states. For the past almost 15 days, I've been out of my family. I've been on the road, looking at the true state of Nigeria, praying over Nigeria, also mobilizing Nigerians. So this opposition, it's not for them to complain and say Tinubu is trying to limit them, is trying to block them, is trying to do this. No, if they pull their energy together, then Nigerian people will follow them. I can tell you. Now, not all Nigerians. You will have 70% of Nigerians. I'm saying this, 70 will follow them.
So you're talking about kind of transformation, like transformation that happened to Saul to become Paul. Do you see any sign that something like that could happen in any of these politicians today?
Yes, because we've seen it. At least I can cite few people that God has changed them and they've been able to serve. Okay, let me give you an example. The former governor of Plateau State, David Jonah, that man came, transformed Plateau. Plateau was becoming the fastest growing state in Nigeria. The Israeli ambassador came here, negotiate and establish a kind of partnership that the Israeli nation, Israelites, came to settle. They started settling here. The man developed this land from over 30 years of backwardness, bankrupt economy. He was able to raise it up, jack it up. Economy, infrastructure. You will go to some places, it's farmland, but you will see roads, clean roads. And then the agricultural thing was coming up vibrantly. It was here that Adesina, the former Minister of Agriculture, was coming here to see what was going on. It was a revolution. So there are politicians. There are people that are truly, they have the heart for the people. They really are willing to lay down their lives, changing from a Saul to a Paul. We have few of them. So I can attest to what I have seen with my eyes. I was part of it. I mean, his commissioners, we are transforming commissioners. This man will not touch a dime from the government. I remember his wife as the first lady. This man refused to sign funds to fund the first lady's office. I asked him, why did you do that? He said, because the first lady's office is not part of the constitution. In this Nigeria, by the grace of God, you can't come to Plateau. Anything you see on the Plateau in terms of development is what that man did before an error took place, and then the last administration came and took the state back again. So it can happen. Yeah, it has happened.
Yeah, you said something, because when I was asking that question, I was thinking about Yar'Adua. When Yar'Adua came in as president, he acknowledged that the process that brought him into power was faulty, that it wasn't right.
That's right.
He took some steps, but he didn't last.
That's
so we didn't see that.
That's
so
right.
There are two things. One is, do we have critical mass of such politicians that could transform a nation? The second question is, are there systems in place that will make it sustainable? Like you talked about Plateau State. Apparently, it wasn't sustained by when he left. So
yeah, what happened was there was an error, and that is something that, by the grace of God, I am working, round the clock. I've been able to put up a system. That was the system that actually gave Peter Obi a very strong voice, and I rallied the entire North. I rallied the Middle Belt. If you saw it, the largest gathering that Peter Obi had, it was on the Plateau. I did that with my own resources. Peter Obi did not give one dime. There was no one naira that Peter Obi gave. It was the collection of the people. And he had the biggest, one of the largest rallies. Plateau State gave him the largest vote in terms of vote, in the North. And in Nigeria, basically. So we have politicians, and this structure that I've set up, it's the structure, by the grace of God, that we're looking at a system that is going to sustain the process. It's not just having men come into governance, but having a force, having a structure that can confront the system if it's not doing well. And if the system is doing well, a system that can monitor to help the government. For instance, I've been to different, excuse me, my grandchildren are coming in, and so they have not seen their grandfather. So my wife came me to whisper I should love the studio because they.
I don't blame them.
they, they are too. I'm too glued to them. So
yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry. So what I'm saying is, with that structure, is for us to be able to make sure that we have something we can checkmate, we can police the political class, the government. If they're doing what is right, commend them for what they're doing. If they're doing what is wrong, also amplify and bring them out. The other thing is, you see, God does not send angels to correct a nation. In every nation, go and check American history, what took place and how God raised men who established America that the world is enjoying today. Go read British history, George Fox and others. You see the rottenness, you see the corruption, you see the rate of poverty, and how a few group of people were able to bring about a revolution. I believe that, you see, there are men in every nation. There are men, not just me. There are many people like me in the country that are passionate about seeing the new Nigeria. And there are politicians also who are desiring to see the new Nigeria. So the only thing is that what we needed is to be able to pull our strength together to be able to put the pressure that is required to bring about this to happen. So what happened in Jonah Jan's case, that the wrong person came in, was something that he also apologized. He did, let me use the word, he made an error. He made a mistake by picking somebody from the northern part where he came from. That was it. It was a protest vote. That was it. The citizens, the people of the land, the state waited for him to produce a candidate to tell you the level of his impact. Nobody was bringing out poster. Nobody was agitating, I want to be governor. The impact of the man was so much. The man touched the ordinary people that you can see them singing his song. Like the Bible says, when the righteous reign, the people rejoice. But then he made a mistake. It was a big error. He picked his chief of staff. He's a brilliant guy, very, very brilliant guy. He was one of the brains behind the things that took place at that time. So he wanted continuity. But it was wrong because he had other disciples he has mentored from the southern zone. And so he needed to pick one from there, and he did it. That was the mistake. So this is one of the things that we're saying. God is the God of justice, is the God of fairness, is the God of equity. And the moment you put that in place, you will get good governance. And continuity will be there.
All right. Last week, something happened in Nepal. The people rose and basically chased away their government. And we've seen some people who speak for this government warning people, the government of Nigeria, warning people not to romanticize, basically not to incite people. I think that's the best word to use. Incite people to try to replicate what happened in Nepal, in Nigeria. Why are they worried? Do you think that something like that could happen in Nigeria?
There is fear everywhere in them. The Bible tells us that the wicked runs when no man chases it. When they know that they are doing what is not right. I will tell you the truth. They know that they are losing. They know that they are not really in touch with the masses are not really with them. The only problem I have with the Nigerian masses is they tend to, let me use the word, groan in their pain and still take it and still manage it. But they know that already what is on ground is against them. That's why they are putting all kinds of systems. They are getting influencers on the media. They are getting, to do several other things to get people on their side. But the fact is that you can't stop when the heat comes. That's why I said this. If the politicians do not change, it's coming. With something happened in August, I asked Nigerians to step out. Even before I knew there was a group that was trying to stage a protest, I did that. I was in Warri when I made that broadcast. And in the north, they used to call it Warri Declaration. And I said, come out. Now, for the first time in northern Nigeria, they were listening to the word of a Christian cleric and obeyed. And there was a massive response on the plateau. It shook the nation. It shook the government. That I was able to control a mass of people. You're talking of tens of thousands without a bullet. And the people were obedient, Christians and Muslims. It has never happened in the history of northern Nigeria, no Nigeria. So, but what I'm trying to say is, when the government saw, they sent in talks. The talks were arrested. Somebody came behind me that was arrested with a pistol, was sent to assassinate me. But God, in his infinite mercy, he has always helped me. I've gone through more than 9 assassination attempts. Bullets have been fired on me. God has kept me. That's why I am not afraid of anybody, because I know that when I'm done and God Almighty says my time is up, nobody can kill me. But when my time is up, I will go home. So what I'm saying is, I did that for 4 days. Nobody, they came with money, the people rejected the money. People were trekking, some were trekking 40 kilometers, some were trekking 50 kilometers, coming to the center. That's to tell you that when the time comes, the people will rise. And they did that time. Until the state government was influenced by the presidency, of course, they set a curfew. And that curfew, because I had already planned the next day what we're going to do as the people. And they know that if that thing continued, there was no way this government would continue with what they are doing, you know. And so what I'm saying is, right now the people are waiting. All they are asking is, what do you want us to do? I said, cool. Let's be working on ourselves. Right now, it is citizens' transformation, because the citizens themselves, they have their own problem. The level of greed, the level of corruption, the level of insincerity. Nigerians are good talkers, but when you put them in the pressure, you will see a different color come out of them. I will tell you that I saw things during the 2023 election of most of the people that call themselves obedient. It was so shocking to see that they were rotten, corrupt, self-centered people. And so this time, I'm telling the people, transform. Let's see a transformation within ourselves. But they know, the people at the top there, they know that if they don't amend their ways, what happened in Nepal is going to happen here in Nigeria.
All right.
I can tell you that it's in the air. It's in the air already. The only thing is, I'm saying that the people in Nepal, went to the extent of burning down their presidency, and all of that, their government structure. No, I don't subscribe to destruction, because this is still their own property. This is still their own money. What they would have done is basically to invade the place, to guard the place, but remove those evil, wicked politicians and show them the lesson they have shown them. What they did there, I applaud the young generation for what they did. So here is brewing, is growing little by little. But I can tell you, if they don't change, it's going to be a shock to everybody in Nigeria. And when Nigerians' own takes place, that is the change in Africa. I can tell you this. I can tell you what I am getting from even other African countries, because the movement I'm setting up is we're moving into other African countries. I can tell you, everyone is waiting for Nigeria. Everyone is waiting for Nigeria to get it. And as of where we are, spiritually, we're getting ready The past almost 15 days, I went raising prayer people, because whatever you're doing, you need the supernatural backing of God. Then politically, we are getting prepared, transforming the people, not transforming them for destruction, but transforming them for transformation. That's why the August protest, there was not one building that was tampered with on the plateau. There was not one shop that was looted. The people were orderly, the people were decent, the people, they showed civility. So that is what we're going to see in Nigeria. We, like I said to the president, if we don't see the change that is required in the next 1 year, we will mobilize to the street. All we need to do is to sit on the street, do what must be done. So that is what is on ground and is growing little by little.
For those who have tried what you are talking about, revolution or protests that will basically change things, they've encountered reaction from the government. And one of the reactions, one of the ways that they do this, whichever government, is to divide the people. They divide the people by religion, by ethnicity, and whatever they are going to use to divide people. What are you putting in place to make sure that if that time comes, that it won't be effective? Because if you look at Nigeria today, the divisions are very big and it's expanding, which means the government is. So what are you putting in place?
Well, that's why I'm telling you that we're building, transforming the people to believe in the one Nigeria. I am from the far north. The one person that the far northerner will never support is an Igbo man. Reason is because of history. Secondly, we believe that the Igbo man, you give him a little space, he wants to dominate him. That's the mind. But if you look at it, I was the one that brought the Igbo man, accepted the Igbo man, brought Islamic clerics. They stood on the podium. They supported. I mobilized the Middle Belt leaders. I mobilized the far north. That was how Obi, by the grace of God, Obi was able to have his, let me use the word, he was able to be accepted in the north here. And so what I'm trying to say is we are mobilizing the people, transforming them first, not to destroy. That's number one. Number two, religion has always been a seed they have always used to plan to divide the people. Then try. Now they see me, a Kanuri Fulani man. I'm associating with all other tribes. I'm associating with all other faiths. That's why if you look at it, sometimes I confuse Islamic clerics in the north that are pumping poison into the minds of the people. Very deadly one. So, and I take up the Quran with them. I said, if you go by this Quran, we won't be going through what we're going through even in northern Nigeria with all that is going on. But there is one book called Hadith. That is the bane. That is the problem of the, let me use the word, the fanatic Muslim. So I am using that. And the glory of God, a lot of Islamic clerics are coming on this side. That's why you saw what happened in the Augustine. What happened in the Augustine, Muslims refused to go to the mosques to pray. I told them, okay, I provided water for them to do their ablution and go to the mosques to pray. They said, no, you're talking of tens of thousands. They said, no, they're not going anywhere. They are going to stay here. I should give them leadership. So I raised somebody from among them to be the imam to lead the prayer. That is something unusual. And it was on a Friday. They're supposed to go to the bigger mosques for prayer and join everybody. They said, no. On the road, we had it. Christians surrounded them. Christians took care of them. On Sunday, let me tell you, the people that publicized the gathering on Sunday service, it was the Muslims. The Muslims were the ones that went out and said, service on Sunday will not be inside the churches. It will be on the street. And the Muslims provided everything that was needed. Usually when Christians are having their activity, if you see Muslims around, they'll be making noise and all of that. But that day, no. Muslims honored the day. They sat down, listened to the message. We all did everything together. Then at the end of the service, we continued with our protest. Now here is it. We are not leading a protest that is, destructive. We're leading a protest saying, look, change must be. Because life is not just about You. Life is about generations to come. And generations to come will only have a good life based on what you do today. So we are healing that. Let me give you one example. After that, I decided to establish a vocational training center because one way to help the people from the bottom is to be able to see how do we solve our problem by ourselves. Forget about the politicians and the government. How do we start? So I established not just the normal vocational center, the normal one, they come 2 weeks and all of that, they are gone. They go back to square one. But this one, you will spend almost a year. Now, it will amaze you. We had about 10,000 people that came. And because of the little resources I have to sell some of my properties, to be able to fund that. So when I did that, I got some plots of land for farm, and I distributed a plot to each individual of, let me use the word household, to farm. I provided the farming implements and all of that for them to farm. What about the others? We trained them in fashion, in tailoring, schooled tailoring center, in cosmetology, in ICT. Some of the students that were in the university that couldn't continue, we brought them in there, to be able to upgrade them. That look, all you need is the skill in this 21st century. Then by and by, you'll be able to do online courses for your university program. Do you know that 75% of the people that got admission, I gave admission into that vocational, are Muslims. And these Muslims, some of the sheikhs came to my house with tears. They said they are sorry for all these years because they saw the impact of people from their community coming back home, transformed, coming back home with something now they are doing. A lady, she's over 60 something. She can't read, she can't write, she can't speak English. She attended our adult school. Do you know that by the grace of God, this woman can read and write? When I graduated them a few weeks ago, that was where I made this broadcast. I was crying. I was in tears. This woman came up to address the crowd and to appreciate me. My children were there because they know what pain I go through to provide these things. It's not that I get support from anywhere. No, this is family. We are just doing it because we feel that God has helped us. How do we help the 99 that don't have that privilege? We can't join people to be criticizing. Why has that person not done it? Why? No. Start with yourself. Start doing something. And I tell you, with that Muslim community right now, they are asking me, please tell us, sir, what do you want us to do? From Sokoto, Katsina, Kano, Kebbi, Nasarawa, Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, from these places, top leaders are calling me, telling me, Prophet El-Buba, tell us what you want us to do for 2027. So the fact is that tribe, religion, and all of that, by the grace of God, we're bringing down that stronghold by the grace of God.
We are going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk about your past, the work you do, and the role of the church in some of these activities that you are doing on your own. So let's take a break. When we come back, we continue with Prophet El-Buba.
into power, and we must get the right men and women. 2027 is not for politicians to manipulate our head. We will get the right men. I talk to you, Mr. President. You have the opportunity to fix and make amends to your mistakes and your errors in the next 1 year, or else we will get on the street. We cannot be bought. We cannot be bought. I feel the tears of the recent young men that we killed in the villages. You are saddled with the responsibility. This is what you applied for. 1 year is more than enough for you to give Nigerians hope that there is a starting point and we have gotten it right. Look at the way Nigerians have been mocked in Ghana. Now Ghanaians are saying Nigerians must go. South Africans are saying Nigerians must go. Togo are saying Nigerians must go. You Nigerians, wake up and fix your country.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us and being here as we continue our conversation with Prophet Isa El-Buba. So, right there, you were talking about to the president that he needed to correct his mistakes in a year. What are the mistakes?
Poor economic policies. Number one, let me say that I am a believer that no matter how criminal, or no matter how bad, or no matter how sinful somebody is, that the person can change. I was not what I am. I was a jihadist. I was very violent. I had a different negative perspective about life and about people. But when change came, that change was able to move me from violent, destructive, killer, a terrorist, that by the grace of God I became a lover, a carer, a giver of life, a helper. That the people who plot evil against me, I can sit with you the next minute and eat food with you. I don't bear grudge with anybody. I believe that everybody was created by God, and everybody will be accountable to his maker. So I believe that the reason why we pray is believing God that God will help us, because we're human. And so I believe that even though the process was flawed, even though the process was wrong, our judicial system that empowered him and finally gave him the let me use the word, the power to be the president, and he's the president of Nigeria. We can't take that away from him. We must respect that. We must respect the finality of the sovereign creator. That even when the devil tried to create something, God will always override. So as a believer in faith, I give the president that. That's why I respect him as president of Nigeria, because the Supreme Court has declared him so. Whether it is corrupt judicial process, no problem, but now he's our president. So it doesn't matter what wrong he has done. He has the ability and the grace to walk his life, to make the changes that are required. I gave you an example with Mantu. Before he died, Mantu came on air and he told the world how he was rigging, how he was helping the system to corrupt and destroy the system. He repented. So the fact is that the president needed to change his economic policy, number one. Number two, Nigeria must stop in terms of prioritizing certain things that has to do with agriculture, that has to do with infrastructure, that has to do with the welfare of the citizens. They are simple things to do. The Nigerians, let me tell you the truth, Nigerians are one of the easiest people to lead. If you just show them the way and they see you do what you say, they will follow you. But Nigerians can be tough, they can be difficult. When they see inconsistency with your lifestyle. And so what I've said to the president is that the president should take responsibility to correct already the corruption that is ongoing. Let me give you an example. What in any way should make you sign, let me use the word, a budget to go and finance the coastal road? When the internal road, that amount budgeted for the coastal road is enough, sir. Is enough to fix the major internal road. And this major internal road is not going to take more than 6 months. I think I told you from Lagos. From Lagos, I drove to Ogun, Abeokuta, I went to Oyo, I went to Oshun, I went to Ondo, I went to Ekiti, I went to Kwara, I went to Kogi, I went to Niger yesterday night. And this morning, I'm here now in Jos. That's why I came into the studio late. It's painful. My body's aching at this age. But I had to go through this. People are saying, why should you do this? It's killing. I know. But I had to do it to feel what the ordinary Nigerians are feeling. And it's something that if the government is on the right course, they will start it. They will begin to fix this thing. When Nigerians see you do 10%, they don't expect you to do the 90%. The moment they see you are on the right course, that's all. The second thing is agriculture. It doesn't take 6 months to be able to flood Nigeria with food. Nigeria is a blessed land. The land is fertile. So what you just need to do, there are crops that grow in less than 40 days. There are crops that grow in less than 60 days. There are crops that grow in less than 90 days. So what you do is you put them in the different stages. Because you're talking about the demographic in terms of the people that are at the bottom of the pyramid. They are the ones that are going through the pain, mostly. Okay? So if you're talking about that group of people, that's virtually 70% of Nigerians. And what they feed on is ordinary food. Beans, cassava, maize. So there are these foods you put. I have done it. So you found this as Ministry of Agriculture. With the amount of money we have had government pumping into agriculture, and we're seeing nothing. That's why the cost of food are going up. Number 3, security. It is still the masses that are suffering. How many sons of the elites have been murdered? How many sons of the elite, or how many of the elites have been murdered by these killer Fulani headsmen? None. There is none. But all the people you see every day, 50 here, 100 here, in Katsina, in Kaduna, in Benue, on Plateau, is the ordinary people. So what will the president do? To give a marching order for the commanding chiefs to relocate. And then synergize with the locals. That's it. And give them order. Anyone who comes to invade here, neutralize them. No, nothing like calling Abuja. Sir, this thing will be dealt with in less than 1 month. I'm not saying 2 months. 1 month. Because when Nigerians see you with the will, they will be ready to offer themselves. That's why we have the civilian JTF. They offered themselves. They were even going to the front line to fight before the soldiers. That's Nigeria for you. So there are policies. Now, the next one, energy. How do you drop energy? It's simple. That's what I'm telling the president. I had to put it down in point and send. What is it? CNG. You've spoken about CNG. All right. So this CNG thing, why don't you flood the nation? It's not something that it's a rocket science that we have to wait for 3 years. The kids are there. import the kits. You already have the NNPC filling stations all across Nigeria. So what you do is, all the NNPC fuel stations, use them as the center where people can go and convert their vehicle from gas, from fuel to CNG. And so what is going to happen is that there's going to be the crash, because this is where the masses are suffering. It's in energy, transportation. So the moment there is a crash in transport there, food will crash. What will happen? When the people have food to eat, I'm telling you, the Nigerians I know, they will slow down. They will allow you to do what you need to do. I'll give you an example. I went to a community. I decided the community was attacked and burnt. Okay? About 200 people were murdered and massacred. I went to that community. I prayed with the people. And people were government was bringing relief and all of that. But then I spoke to the people, encouraged them. I went back with tears. Few days later, God ministered to me. So I gathered pastors, 1,350 pastors. I trained them. We sat down and looked within and said, we don't have sponsors anymore. We don't have money anywhere. But we must learn to solve our problem by ourselves. So I said to them, we're going to move. I will take care of your feeding. Morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We will go to that village. We will stay there. I moved the people, sir. I gathered the villagers, the villagers. And I said, if you have one plot, bring it. You have 10 plots, bring it. Do you know that these villagers, nobody argued, nobody was saying, no, how can I give my 10 plots? I'm telling you, they brought all their land together. I sat down, we designed the village with road, infrastructure in terms of school, market, and all of that. After we did that, the next thing was, we sat down with all of these pastors, 1,350. My family, we were sleeping in a primary school on the floor. My security men were surrounding me because after going through several assassination attempts, they had to make sure that I have security that are always with me. So they were there with me. They said, no, Daddy, you can't stay here. I said, I'm staying here. I'm staying here. My wife, my children joined me. My children, I'm telling you, they are first class. The school in Wisconsin came out with first class degree. Brilliant, doing great things. But all of them humbled themselves for these poor people. Well, at the end of the day, we started making bricks. People that knew nothing about making bricks, they started learning. Pastors became carpenters. They became plumbers. They became builders. That's how, by the grace of God, we were able to build 53 housing units. I spent about 100 and something million naira. Sorry, the lights, because the Nigerian thing now.
I understand.
So, all right. So I think the inverter just went off. But then before they will put it on. But that is what we did. We built 53 housing units with roads, with water going to the 3-bedroom. These are villagers that used to go to the mountainside. They used to go to the bush. If anytime they want to ease themselves for the first time in their life, they are staying in modern house. Now, these were things that if it was government, they would have quoted several billions. But all I spent was 100 and something million naira. It's there. It's called Tapot. If you come to Plateau, you can go and see it. It's there. It's a city. So transform. Another place, I give you example. I went with my family, and when we came back from the crusade, I said, what can we do? So I have this last land. I left it for my children. So now children are grown up now, and then my grandchildren. So I said, okay, please, can you people allow me? I want to sell that. I want to sell that land. I said, Daddy, this is what I want to do. So at the end of the day, we sold the land, got some money from it by God's grace, about 70 million naira. Now with that, we were able to, by the grace of God, make 40 roads into 40 communities. 40 roads. into political governance. So governance, bringing about visible change, is not something that is difficult. So that's why I said to the president, he has 1 year to correct the wrong and then begin to show the people that, look, I'm going to cut down on my budget. What does it take? The man is not, whether you call it by corruption, by whatever means he became rich, I don't care, but the man is not broke. The man is not poor. The man has more than enough. So what is it? What is it about life? Life is not about how much you gather. At the end of the day, you will gather and it will end up rotting. And you lose. Your generations will lose it because it is of the people. So that's why you see some of these great Nigerian and African leaders, by the time they are gone, go and check their family. It's a sorry state. So that's why I said, you are not broke. So why don't you say, look, I'm going to cut off from my own salary. I'm going to cut off from certain expenses. In the next 6 months, Nigerians, we will walk it through with you. Just these 5 things I have given you, I'm telling you, Nigerians will begin to sing hallelujah the next period, because it's clear. So this is why I said to the president, in the next 1 year, if you change your policy and do what is right, then you will get our backing. We're praying for him to succeed. But if not, we can't continue. It's not about us. I will not live forever, sir. I am conscious that this life is time bound, and anytime God can call me. But it's not about me dying. It's not about me going. What do I leave behind as solution for generations that were not part of the creation of the problem?
Let me ask you, before we go to the role of other church leaders like you, in Benue State, neighboring states to where you are, there's crisis that has in the last 2 years has been something that, if this were to be happening in other parts of the country, it will be people will be baffled that it looked as if nothing could be done. I was in Benue State in June. It was days after the president announced that the chief of army staff should move to Benue, what he just recommended. I passed across from Makurdi all the way, and I went by road from Abuja to Benue, from Makurdi all the way to Otukpo and down. I only saw 2 soldiers in a motorbike. Why is it that it's difficult to solve the problem in Benue State?
That's what I'm saying. It's the political will. That's the political will to do what is right. Excuse me, can you bring the power bank, please? The political will to do what is right. Now, you heard the president say to the army chief, hey, move. They know the killers, sir. If you come here now, you want me to show you, I will show you where they are. I will show you where they are. It's not something that I can show you. They know where they are. It's the political will. That's why if you, there was something I participated in called the Middle Belt Media Chat or something, and I had to speak my mind. I know I was treading on a dangerous path. Very, very dangerous. I know these my people. I know them very well. You don't try it. But I know I was treading on the most dangerous path. But I had to say the truth. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And I had to mention who are the people behind 80% of the security instability in Nigeria. The government knows them. They know where they are. Right now, there is a senator from Katsina. There is a senator from Katsina who they know him to be a major sponsor. It's not something that I'm telling you. Just check. There are even videos and confessions of even the band. So they know them. They know where they are. The only thing is the political to say, look here, dislodge them, clear them. Let me give you an example with what happened in Borno. When Boko Haram came up, and we discovered that it was our own people, the Kanuris, that were mostly in the boys. And then we discovered that there was also international sponsorship, and all of that, because of some of the minerals we have. There's a mineral you have there in that Sambisa area that is called look at it now. It's one of the most
Californium or something like that.
Californium, thank you. It's one of the most precious. Okay, so they some foreign aids came in. They were mobilizing the Boko Haram. They were sponsoring the Boko Haram. You know. So, but then when we discovered both local and international, there was a kind of a network. What our people did was that our people started doing. Can you get me with the ring? Our people started mobilizing, and parents started confessing, bringing out their children, and they will say, "Here is my son. He's part of Boko Haram. Deal with him." For the first time, the Boko Haram members were dealt with by civilians. That was how we crushed. That time, Boko Haram had taken over everywhere, but the civilian JTF were able to deal with them. Now, when politicians came in again, you saw that they had to now water down everything and then disarm this civilian JTF. That's why Boko Haram is beginning to raise its ugly head. So this thing, the security know, if they want to clean this thing up, our soldiers are well able, but the boys are demoralized. So what has happened is that they are beginning to feel, okay, let me just play along, so that I can have my own cut and I can have my own share. So the question, what you said is the political will. That's why I am saying to Nigerians now, you can't continue to sit down in your house. Somebody, you gave him one room out of your 4-bedroom. You gave him a room when he was stranded. And he was now able to get established in your house. Now the next thing is telling you, package all other rooms. It's my own house. This is a stranger. You gave him a place. And he said, if you don't leave, I will kill you. This is what is happening in Plateau and Benue. And part of what you see in Zamfara is the indigenous people that are being killed and massacred by these Fulani terrorists who believe that they are going to occupy those lands. So that's why I say it's not about tribal profiling. It's about a people who are the brain behind what is ongoing. So all the presidency needed to do is for the presidency for once to say, Chief of Defense Staff, hey, no more sitting here. In the next 24 hours, I want to see this record before me. And you will see the record. So that is just the answer to what you asked.
Let me ask you, you mentioned something that is interesting. The Fulani, according to the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, he said that Fulani people across Africa, they have the right to come into any country, come into Nigeria and occupy the forests in Nigeria. When you hear something like that, what does that say to you in terms of the problems we have in Nigeria and the solution? If a governor of a state is saying that any Fulani from any part of the world, they have the right to come into Nigeria and occupy anywhere they wanted to.
Okay, the question is, when I used to raise those points and certain governors in the north were calling me, I was, let me use the word, I was too confrontational. I was saying what was not. Now, when it started hitting the panel, then from there, when the thing started, it was majorly in the Middle Belt, Christian communities, and Christians have been massacred. And I just told you about one. I was there 200 and something. Another one was 500 and something. Flouted. So now it's happening in the panel, and they are doing it to the Hausas. So that's why you are hearing Zamfara governor coming out saying, this thing is this thing. They are speaking the truth now. In the north, they are asking their people, take up arms, defend yourself. So what the Bauchi State governor is saying, to me, these are the type of statement that it's making me angry with some of these people. With one side of the mouth, they say something, another side of the mouth, they say a different thing for the purpose of political relevance. But what shall it profit a man if you will gain the whole world and lose it? So what's the whole profit? So the truth is that Fulanis have no right. Let me use the word. They have no right. I'm a Fulani man. because my grandmother was a Fulani woman. So it's my tribe. We have no right to just enter anywhere and just occupy. If that is it, then I shouldn't be paying for land. I should enter anywhere. I should enter anywhere and just settle my family. But anywhere I have gone to in Nigeria to say, give me plot, they will say, okay, even though you're coming to help us do this, you have to have the blessing of the locals, but not to force your way on the people. I mean, that is not done. It's just like going to the eastern part of Nigeria and then go and force them and say, I must take your land by force. No, I have to go by the elders, by the people of the land. They have to agree to give me the blessing so that we can live. They are the owners. Yes, everybody is a migrant in Nigeria. All of us travel, migrated from one place or the other. But the fact is that they're the first settlers. They are the people that have been living there generations and generations of over 500 years. You that have come to meet them, you need to respect them. And that's what my people in Borno are, the Kanuris. The fact is that we go to a particular place, we respect the people. Why are you not having this thing with Kanuris all over Nigeria? Why are you not having that with Ibra people? Why are you not having that with Hausa people, killing everybody everywhere? Why? Because they respect the people in their places. So, Hausa person has a relation in Niger. Hausa man has a relation in Cameroon. Hausa man has a relation in Ghana. Hausa man has a relation in Chad. The same way Fulani has relations all across the Sahel. We all have relations. There is no genuine northerner that will tell you he doesn't have cousins across the border. No. That's why you hear Buhari talk about doing things in Niger, because he has cousins there. So before this amalgamation and all of these things that was done to Africa, we were just under a particular territory. Like for me, it's the Kano Borno Empire. It spanned to Mali. So basically, you have relations, but you also know that you are a Nigerian for this, for God's sake. And so you cannot enter. I can't go to Chad and try to say I'm going to force my way, because I can speak Kanuri or can speak full day or can speak Hausa. I can't go to Niger Republic. I must respect them with the boundary line. And that is basically what is required in this time. So what the governor is saying is part of the issues we are having. And that's why I'm contending with these people. That somehow you find that something has gone wrong with their brain. He's there. Will he allow his family to be slaughtered? He's not a Fulani man. He's from one of the tribes in Bauchi State. But will he allow his family to be slaughtered? Will he allow his people to be displaced the way other communities are? Because you've been able to secure your place, then you think that you would just talk anyhow. Everybody has the right to do anything across Nigeria. I do, just like I've said now, I have moved around Nigeria. So nobody can stop me. But the fact is that you can't invade the owners of the place and kill them and take ownership. No, that is not acceptable. That is genocide. That is evil.
You've been very critical of Nasser El-Rufai. And recently he said something that is wrong for people to pay Fulani herdsmen to stop killing their people. We know in an old interview that he acknowledged that he did the same thing. Now, when you see somebody like that join ADC, and even I saw a picture of him holding hands with P2B, what do you make of that image?
All right. Well, I will tell you this. I'm watching. I will tell you. I'm watching. There is a saying. There is a saying that if you're a lizard in Nigeria and you go to America, you cannot become a crocodile. El-Rufai, what El-Rufai is, except something supernatural has happened. And of course, he will have to repent before Nigerians. If he repents, genuinely, I will say to basically we'll believe it. But what El-Rufai has done, the destruction El-Rufai has caused in Kaduna State, By the grace of God, I don't boast in my capacity and strength, but I think I was one man that moved to Kaduna while he was a governor to speak up for the people. I resisted his government by the grace of God. Why? El-Rufai, when he was minister of the FCT, he did remarkable things, even though there are certain things I didn't like in terms of certain demolitions, but he brought development to FCT. So I thought with that kind of a spirit, and because he was also relating with Pastor Tunde Bakare and a few other people, so I thought, okay, good. When he became the governor, okay, that's it. You know, you'll be able to transform Kaduna. But when I saw him champion the Fulani agenda, when I saw it, that's why I confronted. Then the second thing is I saw him championing the Islamic thing. And that's why he, in Kaduna, that is a state that you have virtually 50-50 in terms of the population, Christian Muslims in Kaduna state. And Kaduna has been a state where the people have been staying together. We've had religious crisis. The past administrations have helped to quell that. Then you come with a divisive thing, and then Muslim agenda. Oh, that was one of the most destructive things. Then the way he punished the southern Kaduna people. Oh, the way El-Rufai humiliated the southern Kaduna people. So now he's crying because of what they did to him. He was part of the agenda of the Muslim ticket. You are hearing some of the Islamic clerics shouting now, robbing and mocking Christians, that we gave support to Peter Obi. These Christians, they have been disgraced. And the fact is that I didn't support anything religious. I supported justice and fairness. That's what I stood for. And so I said it must be a southern candidate. Among the southern candidates, who is the most qualified to me that would be able to handle Nigeria in terms of less corrupt person? At least, let's say, 90% less corrupt is Peter Obi. So that's why I supported Peter Obi. At least with that, you'll be able to correct the errors of the past. But El-Rufai drove this Muslim agenda. And what God has done is God is greater than man. When the president became the president and then they were on with their mission, God in his own ultimate way, he started changing things. So to their amazement, the agenda didn't work. Right now, the people that are crying most in Nigeria are the northerners who voted. The northerners who gave them that vote, they are the ones, the most impoverished place, the place where people are really suffering is northern Nigeria. So they saw the reality. That's why I'm telling you that in those protests, they are saying, look, Prophet, if you give us Christian, we are ready now, whoever you're going to bring, because we have learned that our clerics have deceived us. So El-Rufai, I'm watching. That's why I've not made any statement. I'm just watching it. I'm just watching it, what they are doing. Even the people in the ADC, I'm just watching. Until they come out to tell us sincerely what they want to do. Because we cannot be deceived. I will tell you the truth. If we will not get the right person, and that's what we're trusting God that one of the political parties will continue to work in the grassroots. And there is one of the polished guys among. Peter Obi is there. There is the Prince Adewale is there. That is a very sharp guy. Very, very sharp guy. That is another person I would tell you has the capacity to fix Nigeria. Prince Adewale. That is another person that has capacity to fix this country. I can tell you that from my analysis of politicians. Okay, so these are two. I'm giving you just two. And then, of course, if the president, former President Jonathan, that is another person that if he has the right team, would do the great job of rescuing this country. But what I'm saying is, we are watching them. We're watching them. and praying while we are doing our own job behind on the ground with the ordinary Nigerian. We're trying to get ourselves. Let's get our bearing first. Let's get our minds together. Then we know how to deal with those guys.
Thank you, Prophet. I will bring people in to join the conversation in a few minutes. But before I do that, there's one question I wanted to ask you about looking at what is shaping up in the next election, and thinking about Jonathan that you mentioned. I remember that when Jonathan was in power, men of God, big men of God like Adeboye, they led protests. They were at the forefront of the charge to change things and to force change, including removal of oil subsidy and things like that. Complaining about, but they disappeared. What happened to them? Do you know?
You see, let me say that something happened during the Jonathan time, and I will tell you, you see, people, there is also the background story. Jonathan's time, the economy, yes, was growing. Investors were really investing and all of that, but there was massive corruption, massive corruption. Secondly, you realize there was this killing that was going on, and the killing came up to the peak of it. Of course, we have now discovered that there were politicians, together with the late president of Buhari, who were actually bringing in people to do this killing for political reasons. So that was what basically informed Baba Adeboye coming out, to demand that this bloodletting must stop. That was it. Okay? And it wasn't the subsidy, it was that one. The one of the subsidy and all of that, it was Pastumba Bakare and others. But Baba Adeboye's own was the bloodletting was becoming so much. And then the other thing was the corruption. He was doing well with some of the people like Ngozi, Adeshina, Okwezili, with few of them. But the fact was there were some of the people, like the petroleum minister, they were milking Nigeria dry, real milking. Now, Jonathan has been invited by church leaders, top church leaders, sat down and said, look at this, what is going on. Look at the corruption. Look at this. Look at this. And then, of course, with some of the plots by some of the corrupt guys in this region where I am. And after that, to have that will, rather the next thing we saw was a different thing. Even though I stood for Jonathan, we stood for this thing for him in the last moment, that he should be the one voted, because I know what is going to come out of Buhari. I know. It's not that I didn't know. I knew what was going to come. So, but that of Baba Adeboye, that protest of him leading up, it was because of the bloodletting. And you remember that.
Prophet, somebody can say that there are more now than even when Jonathan was in power.
Yes, but what I have always told people is this. At the age Baba is now, I am, let me use the word. The Bible says that your children shall contend with the enemies at the gate. If your sons are talking and they are speaking, and you know that what they are saying is what you will say. I mean, to me, it was like the case of Samuel in the Bible. When Goliath was intimidating the entire nation of Israel, Samuel was still alive as the renowned prophet. He was the one that installed leadership and all of that. But he didn't say nothing. Because he anointed two people. He anointed Saul, he anointed David. So between the two, one should take responsibility. Saul failed, but David didn't fail. David took the challenge at the risk of his life. And that was how Goliath was dealt with. If you don't know, I'm saying this. This government feels why I'm doing what I'm doing is because the Pastor Adeboye is giving me all the support. all the backing. So that's why you see that they are. Have you seen the First Lady? Have you ever seen the First Lady attend any church service in the Redeem camp? Okay, that's to tell you something is on. It's because they believe that Baba Adeboye did not give them the support. They believe he gave support to Peter Obi. Number two, they believe that for me to confront system and the government, he is behind me, because they know I am his son. I respect him. To be honest, I respect him as one man I have worked closely, a man that has the heart of a child, a lover of God and people and nation. What Pastor Adeboye is doing in northern Nigerian churches and people is beyond comprehension in terms of his support. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm here. If I'm speaking and I'm confronting the system, I mean, it is not right that he should also be coming out alone. No. Where if anything gets tough and I have lost my strength, okay, at that time, a stronger masquerade can come out. But as long as the other masquerade is on the field, the bigger masquerade should sit down in the house.
All right, we are so much out of time in terms of my conversation with you. We have to invite you again, because we've not even touched your transformation. In 2013, you had an epiphany where you transformed and you became a Christian. I want to ask you.
1980, 82.
Oh, 1980, 82 or 83? 83, sorry.
82.
82. Okay. I got 83 here. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to say, was it not, I hear that in some parts of the North, if you're a Muslim and you become a Christian, that it's a very big risk that you could be killed.
That's what I went through.
I know you were excommunicated by your family, your father, but has that changed?
That changed. Basically, that changed several years ago. Before my father passed on, that changed completely.
Oh no, I know about your father, but I mean for other people who might decide to be a Christian, who might be a Muslim but decide to be
a little bit of it has changed, not much of it, a little bit of it. But then with some of us on the ground, a lot has happened. Where you oppress, for instance, this death thing, I've gone through it. That's why the one of the last one that I don't use security before. I go my thing and all of that. But then it was Jonathan who had to provide security for me, because I was fired, and that was worse. It was between Maiduguri and Damboa. It was the Islamic jihadist, and they thought they had gotten me and all of that. So God saved me. I've gone through several other ones. 9, I told you, 9 assassinations. And basically, most of it was coming from the let me use the word, the Islamic terrorists, the Islamic fanatics, who believe that hadith that speaks about fatwa, that when you convert from Islam, you should be eliminated. Yes, it's still in vogue. As some people are going through it. But God helping us with what we've been able to do and confront by the grace of God. You've seen that even when believers are confronted by government in some parts of the North, I fly in there. I fly in there to stand with the people, because if you want to kill, go ahead, but things must be gotten right. This is our country, and religion is a choice. It's not something that anybody should force anybody. And if you know you're doing what is right, why are you afraid of somebody converting? What for? So, with the message, by God's grace, some of us are putting out and what we're doing, and also the collaboration with some of the Islamic clerics now, there is the understanding that is coming. So there's so much like what used to be before. The moment you just got converted, you'll be gone down. Somehow the converts get to escape. And we have massive number of Northerners today, by the grace of God, that are believers in Christ, and they are living well with their family, Muslims and Christians. But that still law, that thing is still there in the Sharia law. So they still follow it. you know, but it's mild in certain areas. That's all I would say.
Mm. All right, all right. Let me bring in our people and get them to be involved in the conversation. We'll take a break. If you need a break at any point, I think maybe take two questions and take a break, and we'll round up. I know your time. I know you just arrived home, and I understand, but this is very important to so many people, and they want to have an opportunity to talk to you. All right. So let me bring in people. When I bring you in, please just ask your question, not too much talk, so that we can get a lot of people involved in the conversation. All right. I'll start with you, Mr. James. You've been here for a while, listening to our conversation. Go ahead, Mr. James.
Yes, thank you very much. You are welcome, our guest. I hope you
Thank you,
can
sir.
hear me. Okay, good.
I can hear you.
Let me start by quoting a Russian writer. I can't pronounce the Russian name, they are complicated. He said that the second half of a man's life is made up of nothing but the habits he acquired during the first half. That's how the Russian put it. You told us here that you are, should I say, a repentant jihadist. You said so. You were a jihadist, you've turned a new leaf, you've changed your religion. We've seen quite a lot in this country, we've heard quite a lot. And to my slight surprise, you spice your conversations with religion. God has no role whatsoever to play in these problems we are grappling with in Nigeria. In Revelation chapter, I think 12, verse 7 or so, 12 verse 7, Apostle John said, war broke out in heaven.
Please quote it again. Revelation chapter 12.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, if I'm correct. It's a bit long, I read the book. Yes, I think I'm correct. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. War broke out in heaven, and the devil and his angels, something, and they were cast out of heaven. If God is in a position to solve our problem in his domain in heaven, there should be no outbreak of war. It means he has enough problems to contend with instead of poking his nose into our problems here on earth. Now, you see, I'm not too happy with the religious aspect because look at South Africa. For 400 years, they prayed to God to solve the problem of apartheid. God turned a deaf ear to their prayers. In 1912, the ANC was formed. And by
I think you are
1994,
supposed to ask a question.
excuse
Are
me,
you?
I'm making a point. Because it seems
James, because we don't have a lot of time, and
No,
there are
no,
many
see,
people.
Can you ask the question, please, so that I can answer you?
Yeah, the issue is that I don't have confidence in what you are saying. Are you truly
Okay.
repentant?
Okay. Thank you.
Are you truly repentant? What is the guarantee
I don't argue with anybody. If I am not repentant, my fruits show, Mr. Man. My fruits are there.
This is what you're telling us. We are not there to find out the authenticity or not. We cannot
You don't need to. Find out from Nigerians, friend. Are you in Nigeria? Find out from Nigerians. Don't ask me.
James,
ask Nigerians.
James, because we have
okay, let me come in here, please. Sir, let me just tell you. I don't care whether you believe there is God or no God. There is God. That's number one. All right. Number two, God is the God that gives us the power of what is called will and the power of choice. What you saw in that book of Revelation is showing you the God who gives all that he has created the free will, the choice. God is not a manipulator. No. God gives people choice. He created you in his being. His being is the power of will. So when you're talking about that book of Revelation, please get your knowledge right. That's why you have a free will. That's why your family has a free will. That's why you have a choice. If God was going to box everybody, all of us would have been thinking the same thing. All of us would have been the same color. all of us would have been the same shape and size. But God created us in diversity. God gave all of us choices. It is because of that choice Satan rebelled. But you saw the end of it. Satan was not in control. God's institution dealt with the matter. It was not God who fought it. Michael and his angels fought it, because that is God. God put system and structure. So we must respect that. That's number one. You're sitting there, Mr. James, you would have been looking brown if God was a dictatorial God. You would have been talking with one
Don't preach
language,
to me.
but
We
look
are
at
talking
you.
politics.
You are
We are talking
speaking,
Nigerian
you are
problem.
speaking a language that is not yours. You are speaking English.
Don't
You are
preach
not
to
an
me.
Englishman.
Don't preach to me.
Mr. James,
All
let's
right? Now,
respect
let
our
me
guest.
land. Let me correct this, because you brought it to me.
This is
I
not a
need to
church.
correct it.
This is not a
All right.
church.
Number
Don't preach
two,
to me.
you said I blemish everything with religion. What gave me life? What gave me the capacity to give life to people in Nigeria? I have been able to take care of millions of Nigerians, wipe away their tears, get them food on their table, change their accommodation, upgraded their school. I have school right now. Come to Jos. Don't ask me. Don't ask of El-Buba. Just come here. I open school. 80% of the students in that school are on scholarship, free. I am taking care of it and my family. What did it is because of my relationship with God. God in me put the conscience in me, put the conscience to love my enemies. So you cannot take, if you are in America, my grandchildren, grandpa is in the studio now. If you are in America, please read your history well. America that you are enjoying today, democracy in America was established by Christians, religious men who brought the Bible and they want to do the Bible principle. That's why America is standing out in the community of nations. Yes, there is moral bankrupt, but you cannot take the God factor. Whoever it is can speak his own mind in America. Why? Because the founding fathers raised a Bible and said, this is the foundation. Yes, there is corruption. God gives us all the choices. But what I have done, because of my conversion, I would have been part of a killer. I'm not killing anymore. I'm giving life. That's conversion. That's the touch of God. I'm no more burning people's houses because of an ideology. Now I am protecting people. By the grace of God, I'm not boasting. 1% of what I have done, Mr. James, you can't stand it. If it is not God on your side, you can't. You know, you sit down in the studio, we talk anyhow. You would come to Nigeria and do what I'm doing and see. But if God is on one side, I can't deny my maker. I can't deny him. He helped me. Today that I can stand to widows. Do you know the number of widows today, by the grace of God? I have given them smile. Today they are not thinking of anything. They have resources on their hand because of God. What will take me? Look at me. I am blessed by God with my position and my age. These are my grandchildren here. I drove all the way from the north to the western part of Nigeria. I drove on the roads of Nigeria, not in the aircraft. What do you think that is? You think that is just human knowledge? It is the touch of God. When God is in place, things change. When people fear God. But then God does not force people. If you choose to fear devil, to follow devil, then you become destructive. Just like the man that gone Charlie, the young man that gone Charlie. That is a choice. It's a choice that he chose that he's going to be devilish. He killed Charlie. So God will not hold anybody. South African thing you're talking about, sir, I put down my life for South Africa. I was part of the people that raised money for South Africa, apathy to collapse. I was part of the people. I was part of the people rolling rallies across Nigeria for South Africa. We were praying for South Africa. Please, there are things we should sit down as a people and think that we should know by history. I am a historian. When you study history, you know good and bad. This Bible is a story of two people, good and bad. The ones who fear God and the ones who don't fear God. That is just the summary of the Bible. That's
All
why
right.
in Nigeria, you see pastors who are corrupt, pastors who are using preaching to collect money from people. But that does not mean that where there is fake, there is no original. There is original because of the fear of God. So what I'm saying is, don't just come to just throw that. You don't need to hear from me, sir. Come to Nigeria. I'm not distant. Come to Nigeria. Go to the street. Ask of Isa El-Buba. My works are there. All right? The houses I told you I have built, they are there. I didn't get cover from government. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And that is what I have.
The fear of God is the death of wisdom. The fear of God.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
I have finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. James. Let's go to KJ. KJ, you're next. Make it
Yes.
quick, KJ. So that way.
Grandpa is in the studio now.
Okay, Prophet, thank you so much. I will not say I don't know of your work. I have followed your work over the years, so I know you very well. I know your ministry. I also I did a story of Dogona Hawa when that massacre took place. So I know most of what you're talking about, how that has been effective. Thank you for all you're doing. Now, my question is, you have enumerated how you were able to put some form of structure that have helped, to help the poor, especially the people who are needy in your community and around your community. Is there a way that you can broaden that to the rest of the Nigerian churches so that they can adapt that model to use to also empower their people? Because the more people that are empowered, the better the body of Christ can showcase what the faith is all about. Instead of them just buying private jet, because I know Prophet, I know you don't have private jet, not because you couldn't afford it, but you have used the money to help people. So instead of them buying private jet, can they use that money for some form of empowerment of their people, so that
I will tell you the truth, sir. I will tell you the truth. You see, I don't miss. I am a person who stands by the path of truth. The Nigerian church, not all, 10% are not. But I will tell you the much Nigerian church is doing. If it is not because of the Nigerian church, I will be honest. Sorry, just a moment. My grandchildren, they have. Please go on, me, grandma. I will soon be with you, right? I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be with you since I came. I'm sorry. Huh? Grandpa will be with you. Go and be with. When I'm done in the studio, I'll be with you, right? I'm sorry. Okay, go and give yours. Go and give the other one. I'm coming. Baba, go on with grandma. Yes, give all of them. Okay, grandpa. Thank you. Give everybody. All right, I'm coming. Okay, just give me the next 20 minutes. I'll be done. All right.
All right.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay. We understand. Most of the people you see here, they have grandchildren too.
Oh, praise God! How loving they are. Now, this is the sacrifice these grandchildren are making. They don't enjoy me, their grandfather, because of the people. I will tell you the truth, sir. Tears is coming to my eye because sometimes people don't understand. People don't know. If you know the true Nigeria, unless you are at the bottom of what is going on. Some of us have. My family have lost in terms of having me at this age, at this stage of my life. 85% of my life is for the people. These children don't enjoy it. Look at it now. I just came back from a journey. My wife hugged me while coming in. I've not sat down with her. I came into the studio to have time with you because I gave my word. But I've denied other people that because I didn't want to talk with anybody. Right? So I will tell you, if it is not because of the Nigerian church, I will be honest. What would have happened in Nigeria would have been terrible. If I begin to count the churches that are doing a lot in northern Nigeria, some of the people you call having private jet, do you know they're flying with their private jet, coming with the food stuff, and then scholarship, children in scholarship? If you see the amount of money going out to help the people, There are farms established by churches that right now people are farming. There are industries that I know right now people are working. If not for the Nigeria, let me tell you, even the crisis in northern Nigeria in the IDPs, if not the Christian, the Nigerian church, I don't know. Nigeria would have not been where it is together. What is holding this country? I'll be honest with you. What is holding this country is the Nigerian church. There is the 10% very corrupt pastors, terrible, and I'm fighting them. I don't spare them. I'm fighting them hard. You know, because whatever God has done to us, it should be for the benefit of blessing. Our role is in transforming the society. So what I'm saying is, they are asking me, Prophet El-Buba, how did you do this? How did you do this? And do you know that they come, we sit down, we look at it. I said, this is how I did it. This is how I did it. This is what we need to do. And so they are now taking up what I have done. The agri thing that I've started now, many of them are beginning to do it. Right now, there is Gary, there's a park here. If there's a park here, I would have shown you Gary that is being packaged by a church group that have started their own. Cooperatives we have started, you know, to set up a cooperative where the people can be able to access some stock loan, but properly monitored. Because I will tell you, sir, apart from just helping out, Nigerian morality is down. The level of destruction of the moral values is down. I will tell you that at a point I was indebted with the bank because I would collect to support, and then my children are the ones who are doing things with me. Their salaries, 90% of the salary of my children comes into my hand to help the poor. So the Nigerian church is doing much. Education, I can't tell you about that one so much. You talk about relief. So the only thing is that we needed to just a moment, sir, please. Granny.
You know what, Prophet? Let's take a break, 5 minutes.
Okay, please.
So that you can
please let me take care of it.
Yeah, and then we'll be back so that people will not miss this chance.
Give me.
All right.
I need to continue. I'm all with people.
Thank you, everybody who has joined us and those who are still joining us. We are going
to the panel.
Chukuna malugo yo biadi ocha Agaranya chogo kowe bili Agaranya chogo kowe rienio Owe chuku bezie chuku Nuche chukwa busigi fegemeo Nuche chukwa busia ifegemeo Nifo solo ne asi alibazie Oboye bebe agaranya muliba Oboye wuru agaranya mebibe solea Mano agaranya uwa Oboye afyozi enipakwa Agaranya chogo kowe bili Agaranya chogo kowe rienio Oboye chikubezio lisa Kodili ma kodili bemo Kodili wakema kodili wanima Naino kwane we beluge beluo Kodili ma kodili bemo Kodili kemo kodili heyo Ibedwe me wane gadi ezigbo iwo.
All right, welcome back, everybody. If I can find everybody else, thank you so much for staying with us, and thank you, Prophet Isa El-Buba, for staying with us. We appreciate it. Let me say that we are short of time. He's been traveling and he's just it's late. So I will ask everybody, when I bring you on, please go straight to your question. Don't make speeches, so that we can get to as many people as possible. He gave us, I'm assuming, 20 more minutes. So please, let's just stick to the questions. I'm sorry, I know we used to having conversations, and I promise you I will invite him another time when we can have long conversation with him. Jonaba, you're next. Unmute yourself, Jonaba.
Dr. Rudy, thank you for having me, and Prophet Isa El-Buba, thank you for coming. And I've been here waiting for as much as you started the program, just to have the privilege to talk to you, and also to thank you so very much for all you do. It's been a while. I know you came to Heaven Glorious recently, or last few years. I was unable to see you in Dallas, Texas. I'm a fan of yours, and I want to thank you for all you do for Nigeria. My question is that if you are given a choice between Peter Obi and Prince Adewale Adebayo, I think, who will you endorse to be the president? Thank you.
All right. I would say I would have left that for now on my on my chair, on my chest. I've actually not been to the States for over 5 years now. I chose not to travel to anywhere in the world. I shut down my international travels. I decided to concentrate on your Canaan land. Because I said to all of you in America, in the diaspora, a day is coming when you will not be thrown out and be hated because of your skin or because of your intelligence. And so while that is coming, it's time to prepare your Canaan land, because a time is coming. a Pharaoh that knew no Joseph would come. And so I decided to stay in Nigeria for over 5 years. I did not smell the international airport. All invitations, I shut them down. And I was traveling from village to village in Nigeria, doing what I am doing to see how do we get things right. If you're blaming everybody, if everybody is blaming everybody, where do we get things right? It has to start somewhere. So it was because of that I decided to pay the price. My children, I give you example, these children, I thank God for them. You see, why I started weeping? I couldn't hold it because when I saw what this man, I felt, if you know how much my children, because they believe in me, their father, and they saw me fighting a cause that is a thankless cause for the sake of people I don't know, but just that I don't like to see ordinary people suffer. My children are working abroad. They schooled, they did their masters and all of that, and the first degree with distinction, second degree with distinction. And they were working with a Jewish firm. They were sending me thousands of their dollars salary as support to me and said, Daddy, take this to help run. No human being was giving me a dime anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. It was this, my family. And then when I saw the way things were going, I told them, come back and join me in Nigeria. You all know what it means for stable, successful young people to ask them to come to Nigeria, especially the North. These children respected me. No argument. They followed me. They said, Baba, if this is it, we will come. My children, these are their children. You are seeing them here. They're now doing a remote, the company they were working with said they have never been to Africa. They said they're going to follow them because of how their productivity, the output was so amazing. So the companies follow them. They are still sustaining them. They are here in Nigeria. They are here. If you look at the protest in August, you will see my children were at the front line. So it was not a thing whereby you are pushing people's children. You are sent your own. Many Nigerians have carried their children abroad. They have the second passport to run. But I said, no, what we say we must do. So I just want to deal with that aspect of this other person because it's painful. This is the reason why some people choose not to pay the price for Nigeria. I will tell you the truth. It's because of people like this other man, James. That's why sincere people are saying, what for? At the end of the day, this is what you get. So, but I am doing it in even though people do some of these things, I am doing it not for people. I'm doing it for the sake of God, who showed me mercy and my children. And today we are helping Nigerians. So they go to this thing, to like the man who asked me about what the church is doing. The church in the south is very rich. We in the north were very poor. And if I had the resources they have, it would have been a different thing. But I'm reaching out. We are sitting down. We're looking at the blueprint. They have to ask me to develop a blueprint. I develop a blueprint too. And many of them are using it. And I can tell you a lot is going on. He told me he was in Dogonahawa. Asked him, there is a name of that place called Dogonahawa. I changed it to the original name called Giambru. I'm the one who put the first signpost when the over 500 people were massacred. So there's so much that Nigeria needs. And we Nigerians in the diaspora, we need to come to this consciousness. Is our Canaan land. Even if you're going to empty your whole relations, you can't take 10%.